Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In today's class we shall discuss the oceanic currents of Atlantic Ocean. First of all, before starting I shall draw the map of Atlantic Ocean. This is Africa. This is Europe. This is United Kingdom. Now I shall draw North America and South American continent. This is Atlantic Ocean. South American continent. North America. This is Europe. This is Africa. And here Asia is located. So this is the map of the Atlantic Ocean. Now I shall name the regions. For example, this is Greenland under control of Denmark. This is Hudson Bay. Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of California, Gulf of Alaska, this is Alaska, which Alaska was purchased by United States in around 1867 by Russia, USSR, Union of USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. North America and South America are connected by a isthmus called Isthmus of Panama. Here Yucatan Peninsula is located. This is West Indies, West Indies, Caribbean Sea. Here Yucatan Channel is located. Yucatan Channel. This is Cuba. Here in the northeast of South American continent, Falkland Island is located. Now coming to Africa. Bight of Benin is located in the western part of Africa. This is Bight of Biafra. North America, Africa and Europe are separated by a strait called Strait of Gibraltar. The Strait of Gibraltar also connects Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea. The countries of Africa which share border with Mediterranean Sea are as follows. Firstly, here Egypt is located. Libya. Here Tunisia is located. Algeria and Morocco. So 5 countries of Africa share boundary with Mediterranean Sea. From right to left, that is from east to west, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, and then Morocco. Capital of Egypt is Cairo, which is located here near Gulf of, Suez Canal. Capital of Tunisia is Tunis, and capital of Algeria. Tunisia is located here. Capital of Tunisia is Tunis, and capital of Algeria is Algiers. And the countries of Europe which share boundary with Mediterranean Sea are many. For example, or namely, firstly, here Portugal is located which share boundary with Atlantic Ocean only. Here Spain is located. Spain shares boundary with Mediterranean Sea, has a boundary with Mediterranean Sea. Here Italy is located. Italy also shares boundary with Mediterranean Sea. In fact, Italy itself makes a sea which is called Tyrrhenian Sea, because here Sicily Islands of Italy are located. Here some islands are also located, and between these islands and shores of Italy, or the western shores of Italy, Tyrrhenian Sea, is located. So this is Italy, which shares boundary with the Mediterranean Sea, and here Egypt is here Greece is located. Greece is located here. Greece also shares boundary with the Mediterranean Sea. And during the Cold War after the World War II, which ended on in 1945, after that there was a tussle between two superpowers, namely the United States of America, USA, and the USSR, for the hegemony over the world. And these tussle between these powers was on the basis of military power, that is the hard power; soft power, that is the cultural influence. That we are seeing today around us. For example, in the genes, the genes Coca-Cola and different products which are manufactured by the companies of United States have a very deep roots in our society. So the culture, Western influence, or there is a word for the Western influence that is called Occidental. That is the Western. The Occidental cultures are influencing us to a very large extent, because whatever we see around us are the product of Western culture. The Western cultures have trickled down to us. The way we think, the way we dress, or all are the fringes of the Western society, Western cultures of 80s and 90s. For example, the MBA, the most coveted course in today's world, in India, particularly in IIMs, has also emanated from United States of America. So these are the cultural influences of Western powers that we are facing today, and no country is exception to it. The mobile phones by which we are talking with others, or the mobile phone by which I am recording this video, all the data are sent through to the US technological companies. There is no localization of data. That's why the government is propounding the localization of data, so that the data could be localized, stored in a local environment, and it would not be sent to the foreigners. So our security would not be put on the risk. So during the World War II, after the World War II, Cold War started between United States and USSR. There were only two powers in the world at that time, which could, after the World War II, because World War II was very destructive. It has caused it has devastating effects on Europe. Europe was completely devastated. Europe's economy was completely devastated. There was nothing in the Europe which could survive. Only two powers were great at that time. First was the United States of America. Second was the USSR. Both were keen to expand their power in hard power arena and the soft power arena. So in this tussle, North Atlantic Treaty Organization (NATO) was formed by the United States of America to counter the USSR's growing power, and USSR also formed Warsaw Pact between the USSR and its allies was also created, Warsaw Pact. There was also ideological tussle between United States of America and USSR. United States of America was propounding capitalist type of economy in which all the means of production, factors of production would be controlled by the free market economy, free market forces on the basis of Keynes or Adam Smith, whereas USSR was focusing majorly on socialist or communist type of economy in which all the major sources, all the factors of production, factories, industries, even the real estates would be controlled by, or the realty, we say to the for the real estate there is a term called realty. So all these real estate assets would be controlled by the government, not by the private individuals. All the production would be given to the government. So this idea, and the government would work also for the welfare of the society. There would be equitable distribution of sources, but this system was very bureaucratic and it led to very corruption in the government, because there was a coterie of some people of the powers that's called oligarchy. Oligarchy was formed in the USSR because there were only some handful people who were controlling all the economy and the power. So they were very corrupt. Government officials were corrupt. So that is why in 1990s, 1991, 1992, the USSR was dismantled completely. During the Cold War period, during the Cold War period, USSR and US both were expanding themselves in their ideological aspects and their territorial aspects also. USSR at that time was very large country comprising different countries, majorly Russia, today's Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Ukraine, Belarus, Romania, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and others. These were all part of, yet even the Germany, eastern part of Germany was also under control of USSR. And in fact, Germany was divided into two parts by an iron veil. That's the Western Germany and the Eastern Germany. So, similarly, there was also a group of countries, or particularly at that time, this was only one country, that's called Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was a combination of around 6 countries, I remember. And names of these countries is very interesting. And this Yugoslavia was located here. I shall draw the magnified picture of Yugoslavia here to illustrate it. This was Yugoslavia. And after the breakdown of USSR in 1991, Yugoslavia also broke down into different countries, and the breakdown of USSR was accelerated by the US, IMF and World Bank, which were regulated by United States. In fact, the economic revolution of 1991, LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization, reform, was forced upon us by the IMF, because had we not accepted the demands or the points of that has been put forth by the IMF, our economy would have been devastated in 1991. So the economic liberalization was forced upon us, in fact, because it's our it was forced upon us, and we moved towards becoming a capitalist economy, more capitalist economy on the tracks of United States of America. So this was Yugoslavia. and now it is divided into Croatia, there Slovenia, Croatia, this is Croatia, here Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Kosovo, and then here Serbia, and here Albania, and here North Macedonia. So these was wholly called Yugoslavia, which is now fragmented, and out of this, those countries, coming to the initial point which I have been talking about, which have those countries which share boundary with the Mediterranean Sea are firstly Slovenia, secondly Croatia, secondly and thirdly Montenegro, and fourthly Albania and North Macedonia. These countries and Greece, North Macedonia nahi hai, Montenegro and Greece shares the boundary with Mediterranean Sea. Here Turkey is located. Turkey, in fact, is in the north of Turkey, Black Sea is located, and in the south of it, and in the south of in south thereof, Mediterranean Sea is located. Turkey, in fact, is a transcontinental country. There are very few countries which are a continental country. For example, there are a few countries which are continental country. For example, Turkey and Russia, Denmark, etc. etc. So this is the Mediterranean Sea. I shall rub this. Here, in the northern part of United Kingdom, Gulf of Bay of Biscay is located. And this is North Sea. Here, through the boundaries of Denmark, Kiel Canal moves. Here, Baltic Sea is located. Baltic Sea. Baltic Sea is a very important because during the Cold War, there were several countries which are part of USSR faction, USSR bloc. Here, the word which I am saying bloc is not BLOCK, it's BLOC. BLOC. So the countries which are part of USSR bloc. So the countries which are part of USSR bloc, there were several, one of them which were demanding to be capitalist on the lines of USA. These included the Baltic countries, which were located on the eastern side of the Baltic Sea, and these were Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Moving northwards from south. This was Lithuania, this is Latvia, and this is Estonia. Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Capital of Lithuania is Tallinn. And here also this is Gulf of Finland, and this is Gulf of Bothnia, which is part of Bothnia, 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 which is a part of Mediterranean Sea. This is England, between England and France. Sorry, between England and France. English Channel is located. Here Norwegian Sea. Norwegian Sea is located on the name of the Norway, because here Norway is located, and here Finland. This is Sweden. This is Finland, England, and Ireland. So this is the map of Atlantic Ocean, and they are related countries. Now today's topic mainly is the oceanic currents of Atlantic Ocean. So now we shall focus on the Atlantic Ocean. I shall rub this Bay of Biscay, Tyrrhenian Sea, and other names which are irrelevant or which are relevant, but you have to keep in mind, or I shall write there. This, keep in mind, this Occidental refers to the western part, something that is related to the western things. For example, Occidental cultures, and the opposite of Occidental is the Oriental. Opposite of Occidental is Oriental. For example, during the British rule in India, Britishers were focusing, Indians were focusing more on Oriental education. That is the eastern part, Indian education. Our culture, we are focusing on learning our culture. So this refers to the Oriental. So Oriental, there is a collocation we can use with Oriental, the Oriental culture, and second is the Occidental culture. But okay, this is Occidental and Oriental. So in this way we can say this is the Occidental part. I shall write here the name small. This is the Occidental part of the world, and Asia, Africa are the Oriental part. Here Europe is also a part of Occidental area, Oriental part. So this is the broad division of the world. So now the today's topic mainly is to study the oceanic currents of Atlantic Ocean. So I shall discuss this. Now, oceanic currents are, what are oceanic currents? First of all, understand the point. What are oceanic currents? Oceanic currents. What are oceanic currents? It is formed of two words, oceanic and current. So the water, the horizontal movement of water by the friction of air, wind, is called oceanic current. Every ocean forms their oceanic current, and the most crucial point with the oceanic current is that it forms a circuit. Always forms a circuit which continues. So this is the oceanic current, and today we shall study the Atlantic oceanic current in the Atlantic Ocean. So oceanic currents are divided into two parts. First, of the Atlantic Ocean, oceanic currents of the Atlantic Ocean are divided into two parts. North Atlantic Oceanic Currents, South Atlantic Oceanic Currents. North Atlantic Oceanic Currents are the oceanic currents which flow in the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. What are the northern and southern part? How we divide Atlantic Ocean on this basis? So the division of the basis of the division of the Atlantic Ocean is the equator line, 0 degree latitude equator. So equator line passes here. I shall draw the equator in a very fluent manner. This is 0 degree equator. 0 degree equator. In the northern part of equator, the northern part of the equator is called North Atlantic Ocean, and the southern part is called Southern Atlantic Ocean. So there are two different currents, streams of currents, circuits of current are formed in the Atlantic Ocean. First in the North Atlantic Ocean and the second in the South Atlantic Ocean. We shall study both of them. Firstly, we shall study the North Atlantic Ocean currents. So this is 0 degree equator. As we know, in the previous lecture, I have discussed about what are trade winds. Trade winds are the winds which move from 35 degree north-south latitudes towards equator. And due to the Coriolis effect, they are tilted rightwards in the northern hemisphere and leftwards in the southern hemisphere. So here, trade winds move like this. This is the trade winds force. Now, from the African continent, trade wind will move towards the oceanic part. So, when wind move from the continental part or the land part toward the oceanic part, then such wind is called offshore winds. So because Africa, in the Western Africa, offshore winds flows, the friction is applied on the water of the Atlantic Ocean and the water moves in the horizontal direction due to Ekman's law. When trade winds move towards equator, then they converges at the equator and move in a horizontal direction. Because according to the Ekman's law, when wind moves straight, then water's movement of oceanic currents is tilted toward 45 degree. So that is why the wind which is moving in a southwestern direction will be tilted towards westward and will move like this. And this movement of wind this movement of water, oceanic water, across the equator line, in the northern part of the equator line, is called Northern Atlantic Oceanic Current. Northern Atlantic Oceanic Current. Similarly, an oceanic current is also formed in southern part of the Atlantic Ocean, and that is called Southern Atlantic Ocean current. Similarly here, Southern Atlantic Ocean current is formed. and between northern Atlantic Ocean and the southern Atlantic Ocean, a counter equatorial current flows, and this counter equatorial current is called in Atlantic Ocean Cromwell current. Similarly, in the counter equatorial current that flows in the Pacific Ocean is called Vladivostok current, whereas the current which flows in the Atlantic counter equatorial current which flows in the Atlantic Ocean is called Cromwell current. Why this counter equatorial current is formed? This is the block of Atlantic Ocean. From Africa, offshore wind causes the movement of, this is equator, and the offshore wind causes the movement of oceanic current, causes the movement of oceanic water, leading to the formation of North Atlantic Oceanic current and the South Atlantic Oceanic current. So here, oceanic current flows. This is North Atlantic Oceanic current. This is near Africa. This is North Atlantic Oceanic current, and this is South Atlantic Oceanic current. When oceanic water moves from Africa towards Brazil, this is Brazil. When Africa moves towards Brazil, then the water around the shores of Africa, the amount of water around the shores of Africa decreases, its quantity decreases, and the water gets accumulated towards Africa. It hits the water gets accumulated towards around Brazil, around the eastern coast of Brazil, and it hits the North Atlantic Oceanic current and the South Atlantic Oceanic current hits the Brazil at Sao de Roque. Here, Sao de Roque is located where it hits. So here water gets accumulated in a very large amount, so water moves downward, and around at 100 fathom of depth, water starts moving towards Africa, forming counter equatorial current. And near Africa, it moves upward to fill the gap created by the water which has moved towards Brazil. So this is Cromwell current. Cromwell current, that is the counter equatorial of Atlantic Ocean. So similarly here, in between the North Atlantic Oceanic current and the South Atlantic Oceanic current, South Atlantic Oceanic current, Cromwell current flows. Now I shall rub this so as to I can make the diagram of North Atlantic Oceanic currents. near the Saudi Rock of Brazil, North Atlantic current hits the North American current and it moves northwards as Antilles current. Antilles current is so named because here Antilles Islands are located. And near Antilles Islands it splits into two parts. First part moves around the eastern coast of West Indies and the second oceanic current moves towards the Gulf of Mexico here. And due to the effect of westerlies winds, this oceanic current that is called Florida current moves between the Strait of Florida and moves towards the east part of the West Indies, and this is Antilles current moving northwards near Cape Hatteras. Both Florida current, this is Florida current, both Florida current and Antilles current meets, forming Gulf Stream. Single Gulf Stream. This is Gulf Stream. Here Labrador Sea is located, and from the Antarctic Ocean cold current, oceanic current comes, which is called Labrador Oceanic Current, which is a cold current. So Labrador Oceanic Current. So Gulf Stream and Labrador Oceanic Current meets near, this is Newfoundland. So Gulf Stream and Labrador Current meets at Newfoundland. And since Gulf Stream is a warm current and the Labrador Oceanic Current is a very cold current, so when warm current and cold current meets, then huge amount of fog is produced. And they meet near Gulf Stream and Labrador Sea meet near Newfoundland, and here the huge amount of fog is produced, because of which sun rays are not able to penetrate through the fog and reach oceanic surface. As a result, large amount of phytoplanktons, which is the food of fishes, plankton, which is the food of fishes, grows in a very large amount. So fishes growth of fish is a very large here. So we can say the confluence of warm current and cold current is very fertile, very is very luxuriant, because there are two words. First is the luxurious and second is the luxuriant. Luxurious person lives a very lavish lifestyle, like a Bon Vivant, for example, like a Vijay Mallya lives very lavish and luxurious lifestyle. That's the Bon Vivant lifestyle. And luxuriant means very fertile, fecund, we can say. So this is a very good fishing ground where a large amount of fishes come. So fishing occurs here. Labrador Sea and Gulf Stream meets with each other and combines with each other and moves eastwards as North Atlantic Drift. They move as North Atlantic Drift. This is Labrador Sea and moves as North Atlantic Drift. And this is a warm current. North Atlantic Drift moves eastwards, and since it's a drift, what is the difference between oceanic current and drift? Point to be noted. Difference between the oceanic current and the drift is that oceanic current has a very definite direction, whereas the drift don't have any definite direction. Drift moves like this, whereas the oceanic currents have very definite direction. It moves straight. So this is North Atlantic Drift, which moves eastwards since it is a drift, and after moving to a certain extent it splits into different drifts, different streams. For example, one stream moves towards the Norway, that is called by a name, and I am not able to remember the name, but another stream moves north southward as a Canary current. This is cold current, that is Canary current, and this moves southwards across the western part of Europe and Africa and meets the North Atlantic Ocean, thus completing the circuit. This drift, North Atlantic Drift, name of this drift is North Atlantic Drift. This North Atlantic Drift moves towards Norwegian Sea, and Norway, since Norway is located under the Arctic Circle, so very large amount of ice, snow occurs, snow falls here, and snow occurs here, and icing is very high. Rate of icing, or frequency of icing, or the intensity of icing is very high in Norway. So it's very harsh condition in winter in Norway. But because of the North Atlantic Ocean current, which is a warm current, it melts the ice, snow of Norway. So this causes the meltdown of Norway. So it's even during the winter season, the environment or the weather of Norway is very pleasant and calm, warm, not very cold. So it's habitable even in the winter. So it's a boon for Norway. Norway's capital is Oslo. This is North Atlantic Drift, and it also moved towards White Sea. Here White Sea is located. White Sea. Another current here, Iceland is located in the southwestern part of Greenland, and another drift also moves from here, which is called Irminger current. Irminger current. This is Irminger current. So this is all about the North Atlantic Oceanic currents. Now we shall discuss the South Atlantic Oceanic currents and what are the South Atlantic Oceanic currents. Now, South Atlantic Oceanic currents. as we know, the Atlantic Oceanic currents, South Atlantic Oceanic currents, moves from western coast of Africa and moves towards eastern coast of North America or the Brazil because of offshore winds and the trade winds. The South Atlantic Oceanic currents hits the south rock of Brazil and moves southwards as Brazilian current. Brazilian current is a warm current, and from the Atlantic Ocean part, a cold current comes, which is called Falkland current. Falkland, in fact, is an island in the southeastern part of South American continent, and on the name of which Falkland current is also named because Falkland current moves between Falkland Island and Argentina. So when the Falkland current and the Brazilian current meets with each other, then since Falkland current is a cold current and Brazilian current is a warm current, so as has happened in the meeting point of Labrador Sea and the Gulf Stream, fishing spot is also created at the meeting point of this Brazilian current and the Falkland current. And after the meeting point, they move eastwards toward Africa and hit the African continent, move southwards as a cold current called Benguian current, and it meets the South Atlantic Oceanic current. So this is the idea that I have imparted on you, and I shall draw this on the map. So when South Atlantic Oceanic current hits the Saudi rock of Brazil, then it moves southwards, and from Atlantic Ocean, here Atlantic Ocean is located, and from Atlantic Ocean a current moves northwards, which is called, here Atlantic Ocean is located, Antarctic Ocean is located in another part. Atlantic Ocean and Arctic Ocean is located in another part. Antarctica is located in the southern part. So this is the Antarctic Ocean. And from the Antarctic Ocean, Falkland current moves northwards. Cold Falkland current moves northwards and meets with the Brazilian current. So this is the Brazilian current. And this is the Falkland current. Brazilian current meets with the Falkland current and creates a fishing spot here and moves eastwards as a South Atlantic drift. This is South Atlantic drift. And hits the western coast of Africa and moves northwards as Benguian current. Benguela current. So and meets the South Atlantic Ocean current, thus completing the circuit. So this is all about the North Atlantic Oceanic current and the South Atlantic Ocean current. This is the overall picture of the oceanic currents of the Atlantic Ocean. Now, Okay, so that's all about in today's class, and today I have to wrap up this session. Okay. If you like this video, then kindly subscribe to the channel and like, comment and share the video.